enough to say goodbye, if you brave enough to say goodbye, life will reward you with new hello.
Yeah. To say goodbye, what does it mean?
We have to, kita harus lebih berani untuk ngambil resiko lah, juga berani untuk meninggalkan hal yang udah nggak ada fungsi lagi. Kita kayak berani aja tuh ninggalin, to living the past lah, and reach the future.
Yeah, we have to face the future, ya. Logically, pakai akal sehat menghadapi masa depan. Jadi nggak usah baper-baper lah ya, nggak usah milo-milo lah ya, Dihan. Logic. Jadi kita ada berapa tadi? We have 4 motivation from Rahmadia, ya. Apa tadi Rahmadia?
Segala sesuatu harus bisa dibarengi dengan iman.
Oke, very good. Anggun?
Kerjakan dengan lebih dan sepenuh hati, Mem.
Oh, very great. Ajeng?
Work in silence and let the success give noise.
Yeah, wow, so gorgeous. We can imagine if every single motivational can be implemented for each of you, for every single life of you. Absolutely, yeah. We can really imagine that how life will be. Ya, how life will be. Kalau tadi digabungin semua, ya kan? Dari for life motivational, ya. It will be so great. Bagus sekali dari mulai hidup yang penuh iman, harus terus meningkat dan totalitas, kemudian B aja, ya kan? Kemudian harus move on. It's so great, ya. Itulah makanya the reason why I make this as the opening of our meeting in every single discussion in our lecture process, because sometimes we are a little bit missing, yeah. We are a little bit missing many points of life purpose and learning purpose. Yeah, we mostly have a tendency that academic is only about intelligence, insight, about the subject materials discussion. But we are a little bit missing about how character build up, and then how emotional can be controlled, how happiness can be achieved by every single of us. That's the main purpose that I really want to let you know, the reason why I make this. Okay. So I do hope that every single of you can be really understand what actually my main purpose in making this. Okay, the next session is about problem solving. Problem solving. Yes, every single of you can share each other what kind of problem you face right now in this current week, for example, or in this current time. Do you have any problems? You may share.
Dihandas.
I have a problem right now, but I have solved it with Ajeng, ma'am. Before the class started, I already talked to her.
So you already discussed personally. Thank you, Ajeng, for helping Dihan in solving his problem. Others, probably? Others?
Kayaknya nggak ada yang punya masalah, Mem.
Wow, so much great. So what about your preparation in welcoming the last year of your study? Is it also really well right now? No problem also?
There's so much problems, of course.
Is it already solved? Sudah aman semuanya? Untuk persiapan skripsian, bimbingan. Sudah ready? Mentally, psychologically, physically, semuanya? Sudah aman ya? Yalah, kelas ini kan udah tangguh-tangguh ya kan.
Waduh.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to really concern on that, right? You have to really prepare. Well, how can your proposal preparation will be running well, and then you will not leave behind, and you will graduate on time. You also will have your seminar proposal on time. You will not be out of limit time. Yeah, I do expect it for you. So if I may say to you, please really build a good communication each other. Even I really understand the condition of this classroom, right? The character of every single student in this room. But I do believe that you will be really good in connecting and building a connection each other, like a chemistry for facing the last step to graduate in this university, right? Yeah, talk each other, don't forget, and then remind each other. Okay. Oh, well, I already received only 2 tasks of you, 2 tasks on my Google Form link. Is only 2 tasks received. Is from Eki Juliati and Rahmadiah. What about others?
Mem, kami kira Mem yang ngisi mappingnya setelah pertemuan ini. Soalnya kan kemarin kan belum ngebahas apa-apa gitu.
Iya, kan itu tugasnya dikumpul. Kan Miss bilang di meeting kedua dikumpul gitu. Jadi kamu maunya setelah selesai meeting.
Iya, kirain main mappingnya tuh setelah pertemuan ini gitu. Di mapping baru dikumpul formnya untuk pertemuan ini gitu, Mem.
Iya, sebetulnya efisiensinya adalah sebelum kelas dimulai tugas sudah dikumpul karena itu untuk tugas per meeting. Jadi kan untuk persiapan hari ini instruksi tugas adalah di meeting sebelumnya. Jadi what you read, what you discuss individually, right? It should be submitted. Jadi ada apresiasi yang sudah mengerjakan. Kalau sudah presentasi kan sudah lewat meeting kedua. Jadi ada nilai plus tersendiri bagi yang sudah mengirim on time gitu.
Kalau nggak bisa dikirim.
Kenapa nggak bisa dikirim? What's the problem?
Filenya nggak bisa. Nggak tahu, nggak bisa tadi udah siap sih, tinggal ngirim filenya nggak bisa.
Iya. Kamu pakai apa? Microsoft Word or PDF file?
Si PDF sih sama Siti Rahmadiah tadi minta buatkan karena kan handphone saya masih di itu, masih baru di download, jadi nggak bisa, nggak tahu kenapa.
Tadi si Rahmadiah sudah mengirim.
Iya, dia bisa, saya enggak.
Ya, kamu buat nggak usah PDF aja, Microsoft Word juga boleh. Mungkin terlalu besar kapasitasnya.
Nggak ada, Mem. Filenya di situ nggak ada. Kayak gini, nanti saya kirim apanya, screenshotnya.
Ya sudah, kirimkan saja picture-nya saja, difotokan. Supaya bisa cepat dikirim biar nggak berat. Oke? Okay, now let's go to the next session. Yep, it's about the students' presentation. So you may share your understanding related to the psycholinguistic topic. Any kind of subtopic can be presented. And then I also really flexible to you. Even I share to you some sources such as books, but I do not limit you to present only from the book, but it can be shared such as from YouTube, it can be shared from short article, blog, or another information. It also possible if in newspaper also you find out about some topic discussion related to the psycholinguistic. Okay, it's already running for Ajan. So we have to break, right? So after Sholat, it's about 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, is it okay? Jam 4. Tapi jangan lambat.
Ya, Mem.
Ya.
Oke, Mem.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, now I will read my presentation, which may be more of a summary of physical linguistic. Baik, yang pertama kita masuk ke pengertian physical linguistic. Di sini ada 3. Saya mengambil mulai dari secara umum menurut file sama garis besar ilmu psikolinguistik. Baik, yang pertama saya akan membacakan secara umum psikolinguistik, yaitu ilmu yang mempelajari perilaku berbahasa, baik perilaku yang tampak maupun perilaku yang tidak tampak. Menurut Field, bahwa pemahaman tentang penggunaan bahasa merupakan korelasi antara pikiran dan lisan. Bahasa merupakan produk dari pikiran manusia, dari hasil berpikir, kemudian membuat pola komunikasi berdasarkan pengalaman dan latar belakang masing-masing individu dalam mengungkapkan informasinya. Dengan berkomunikasi, diharapkan orang akan berkembang dari segi wawasannya, sekaligus menambah gagasan yang baru dalam dirinya. Yang ketiga ada secara garis besar ilmu psikolinguistik. Tidak hanya mempelajari tentang pemerolehan bahasa pada anak, melainkan bahasa cakupan yang masuk ke dalam bahasa psikolinguistik. Seperti halnya menangani anak-anak atau orang yang mengalami kesulitan dalam berbahasa, disleksia, yaitu sedikit saya akan menjelaskan disleksia yaitu suatu gangguan belajar yang ditandai kesulitan belajar membaca. Biasanya anak-anak yang kurang bisa membaca itu ataupun dalam membaca dia lama sekali bisa belajar membaca itu, dia mengalami disleksia. Terus ada namanya stuttering, yaitu gangguan bicara yang sering melibatkan masalah dengan kefasihan normal dan alur bicaranya. Biasanya stuttering ini biasanya disebut dengan gagap. Dan biasanya gagap itu juga riwayat gagapnya ada pada keluarganya atau faktor genetik. Selanjutnya ada afasia. Afasia itu suatu gangguan yang mempengaruhi kemampuan seseorang berkomunikasi, seperti tiba-tiba dia stroke atau cedera kepala, tumbuh tumor di otaknya. Yang kedua, ada namanya sejarah perkembangan psikolinguistik. Psikolinguistik sendiri pertama kali dikenal dengan salah satu ilmu tentang psikologi bahasa pada tahun 1920. Psikolinguistik sendiri dinyatakan sebagai salah satu bidang ilmu baru pada tahun 1951 setelah dideklarasikan di Universitas Cornell dalam sebuah seminar. Kemudian hasil dari seminar tersebut dibukukan dalam bentuk jurnal oleh Osgood Sebeok 1954 dan linguistik pertama Osgood dan Sebeok 1954b. Psikolinguistik sendiri berkembang menjadi sebuah ilmu disipliner yang luas dan berpengaruh terhadap metodologi penelitian. Pemahaman psikolinguistik sendiri merupakan ilmu multidisipliner seperti dalam tadi salah ngirim. Yang ketiga ada ruang lingkup psikolinguistik, yaitu ada namanya bahasa, lisan, dan komunikasi. Dalam bahasa ini biasanya ada ditambahkan pada tahun berapa lupa. Dia ditambahkan bahasa ini menjadi 2, yaitu bahasa lisan, lisan dan tulisan. Yang satu lagi namanya ada ditambahkan namanya bahasa isyarat. Lanjut, yang pokok bidang kajian psikolinguistik, yaitu ada pengolahan bahasa, penyimpanan bahasa, dan akses. Yang ketiga ada pemahaman teori. Keempat, bahasa otak. Kelima, bahasa dalam keadaan luar biasa atau akuisisi bahasa pertama. Until here, thank you for your attention. Sudah, Ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much for Rahmadia. Rahmadia having so much progress right now. Yeah, I do proud of you. Congratulations, Rahmadia. You already move on and getting much better than before. Yeah, if previously you are quite busy and having a trouble with your internet signal, but nowadays you having so much progress, particularly for the on-time task submission, ready for having the presentation, and you also really prepare it well and you also master it well. Congratulations, Rahmadia. Yeah, I pray that God probably will give you much easiness and then much achievement so that for the next meeting you will be much better again. Okay, Rahmadia. Yeah, everybody, do you have a short question probably? Do you have a short question or some misunderstanding or something like unclear definition or explanation? Yeah, everybody is clear enough, right? So before we invite another speaker to present the reading comprehension of psychological topic, I will let you know that psycholinguistic disorder, right? It can be caused from two kinds of causes. First one is about the psychological disorder, and the second one is about the physical disorder. For psychological disorder, probably like somebody who have a stress, right? A very much burden, they will have a problem on their psycholinguistic, such as their communication will not be good, right? They cannot really respond it well, such as like the very emotional statement when they are doing the communication. But another thing for about like the physical disorder, it's like what Rahmadia already explained to you. It's about like the physical disorder, like something like in the Broca's area here in the Broca's area. Yeah, you can check on the book the picture of Broca's area. Broca's area is about the hemisphere condition on your brain that it is really having a big function of the language production. So if you had that problem, such as like probably when you are falling down, you have an accident, or you have such a kind like a serious disease, such as you have high blood temperature, or you have, for example, like what we say, like people who have a problem with the unproductive body, for example, like mostly people with high blood temperature, what we call the sickness name, the disease name, what we call with high blood temperature, we call like with dysfunction body, the name is, yeah, something like we call in Indonesian language like stroke, you know, stroke. They have also disorder of brain. So we have two kinds of language disorder, disability of language function, you know, like psychological and physical disorder. Is it clear for this? The point of what Rahmadia explained to you, is it clear? Everybody clear? Yeah, try to respond. Okay, good. So you have to remember that actually talking about the language competency in communication is not only about, for example, like the physical, the function of your hemisphere, but also about the psychological. If you are not good on your psyches, right, in your psychology condition, you also will have a problem on your making a communication, such as like a rush, right? Rush, or like rude, right? A rude statement, for example. Yeah, it's not a good communication. So it's because of the psychological disorder. Okay, clear for this? Next, we are going to invite the second presenter. Yeah, Violanda Ajeng. Time is yours.
Mem, ada kesalahan teknik.
It's okay, we are waiting for you.
Mem, tapi nggak ditampilin gitu nggak apa-apa?
What's the problem?
Nggak ditampilin kayak ramah dia, cuman kayak comprehend aja.
So you want to make a verbal explanation? Yeah, would you tell us the reason why you do not prepare it?
Because I am praying, mem. Tadi nggak sempat bikinnya.
Yeah, you did not prepare it yet. Yeah. For today's meeting, I give you some additional chance, right? But for the next meeting, I do expect that you can prepare it well. Yeah, because it's already announced and the instruction already announced, already informed to all students on last meeting. But because probably you are a little bit busy outside, yeah, you are not ready at home, so you are not really noticed on this announcement and information. Okay, Ajeng, please go on.
Okay, so psycholinguistics or psychology of language is the study of the interrelation between linguistic factors and psychological aspects. Psycholinguistics is the discipline that investigates and describes the psychological processes that make it possible for humans to master and use language. Psycholinguistics conducts research on speech development and language development and how individuals of all ages comprehend and produce language.
Point of your understanding?
Yeah, it's about. Tunggu, mem. Ada ke distract. Ntar ya, mem. Psycholinguistic studies is mainly concerned with the use of psychological experimental methods to study language acquisition, production, and processing. That is mem.
In brief, by your own statement.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah, you may deliver it by using your own statement based on your understanding, Ajeng.
Yang setangkap Ajeng, Miss, itu kayak psycholinguistik itu kayak pemahaman tentang bahasa sama kinerja otak.
Okay, so great, Ajeng. Thanks a lot for your presentation. Right. As long as you understand, it will be so good for you. Okay. Next, we are going to invite Ifdihansha.
Mem, bentar, mem. Saya rejoin lagi soalnya ini lagi error, mem.
Mem Handini masuk kelas mem ini enggak? Handini Ade Utami.
Masuk di daftar mata kuliah, peserta mata kuliah masuk. Tapi dia nggak pernah masuk dari meeting 1, belum ada join.
Oh, iya. Anggun kok nggak join lagi malah juga.
So here I got 4 points. The first one is psycholinguistic is the branch of linguistic and psychologist. Jadi di psycholinguistic ini adalah ilmu linguistik yang mempelajari penggunaan bahasa dan pemahaman bahasa yang ditinjau dan dipandang dari sudut psikologi. Seperti yang dijelaskan dia sebelumnya. Dan kedua, psycholinguistic psycholinguistic relate to language acquisition. Nah, jadi di psycholinguistic ini mempelajari bahwa bagaimana cara setiap manusia mempelajari bahasa, dan karena setiap manusia itu memiliki kapasitas dan capability dan kemampuan yang berbeda untuk mempelajari suatu bahasa. Terutamanya untuk beberapa orang yang memiliki disabilitas, mungkin mereka ya seperti yang dijelaskan dia, mungkin mereka lebih membutuhkan proses yang lebih banyak dari kita yang manusia normal untuk menggunakan dan memahami satu bahasa. Dan ini lebih tepatnya psycholinguistic ini mempelajari tiga hal. Yang berikutnya adalah comprehension, di mana cara manusia memahami suatu bahasa maupun dalam bentuk tulisan maupun dalam suatu bentuk sesuatu yang didengarkan seperti pidato. Nah, mungkin kita manusia normal akan lebih mudah memahami suatu bahasa yang kita baca ataupun yang kita dengarkan. Namun ini berbeda dengan orang yang memiliki kebutuhan khusus. 4. Language production. Di sini poin ini ialah bagaimana cara kita memproduksi suatu bahasa atau mengaplikasikan bahasa tersebut, seperti dalam berkomunikasi, dalam bentuk tulisan, dalam bentuk kayak pidato, speech gitu. Nah, seperti itu, Mem.
Okay, very good comprehension and conclusion for your summary. Iftihan, everybody, if you have some question to be asking to Iftihan, yeah, please welcome.
Yeah, if you guys have any question, you may ask me.
Probably if you still consider to ask some question, I can give you some additional explanation that related to the comprehension, why it's really crucial to be learn deeper about this, because you are as the candidate or teacher, particularly English language, right? As a teacher who transfer a knowledge about language, so you have to really understand and consider that actually when we are transferring some information about language to our students, so every single student will have a different level of comprehension. So by knowing this deeply, so you will be avoided to be misinterpretation of your student skills. So the skill of student cannot be blamed to your students. For example, oh, why you are so hard? Why you are so stupid, for example, to mastering these English materials? So you cannot really judge your student when you are teaching. When you are having a learning process and transferring your knowledge to your student, you will not be easily to blame your students because you already understood well about the material of psycholinguistics, that in the processing of language, they have a different character, different capacity of processing some information to the brain related to hemisphere, broadcast area, for example. So when the language processing into the brain is not directly can be understood and can be verbally delivered by the students. So that's why sometimes like the audiolingual types of students, they're really easy to listen, to have a listening process. So the student will be really good on speaking. Why? Because they can really understand well for the listening material, for example. But for students, they are not really audiolingual a character, they will be really so hard to have a good speaking. So when you are, for example, teaching speaking one day, you will be a teacher or you will be a lecturer, so you will not be easily to punish your student, for example, or you judge your student that, oh, this student is not good now. So it's really important, the crucial thing that we really need to discuss and learning further about psycholinguistics. So it's not only about the psychology, but also about the physical, right? But also about the process, and also like what Rahmadia telling it to you, that related to the experience. Somebody's experience will be really really affected to their comprehension. So for example, like you, when you are having a previous understanding from your English course, for example, you know about tenses, for example, when somebody like a teacher explain you about tenses, so you will be really easy to understand the material about tenses, and then you will be really easy to explain what tenses is, and then you will give example on sentence, or probably when you are making a verbal explanation, or you will be implemented on speaking, for example. But others, for students who are not good, right, about in the past information gotten by the person, probably the person also will be really so hard in understanding and catching the comprehension of the materials. Can you get my points? Yeah, so related to comprehension, what if Dihan said and Siti Rahmadia delivered to you just now is really connected each other. So comprehension also depend on the information already keep on their mind, and but also related to the past information already stored on their brain. Okay, clear? Everybody, are you ready for the question to Ifdihan probably? Now, okay. So Yanti right now? Dihan, thanks a lot for your explanation. It's quite clear. Yeah, so we also, the scope of learning psycholinguistics is also about language acquisition, but it's not really deep, yeah. We just learn it on general, that actually in acquisition of language, we also need to consider the psycholinguistic aspects. Okay, thanks a lot, everybody. Now we are going to invite Suyanti.
Yes, ma'am. Ininya nggak bisa iya, tolong bagiin. Di Siti Rahmadia filenya. Kelihatan nggak sih? Itu aku kabur.
Ya, sedikit ngeblur ya, tapi bisa lah, bisa dilihat.
Oke, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Nah, di sini saya akan menjelaskan tentang psikolinguistik. Di sini ada ringkasan, ada pengertian, sejarah, dan ruang lingkup. Saya akan mulai dari pengertiannya. Ini pengertian yang ini salah sih, ini yang baru saya dapat, mem. Nanti saya perbaiki yang di sini, mem. Bisa, mem?
Bisa, disesuaikan saja, Suyanti.
Nah, jadi pengertian yang saya dapat ini, mem. Psikolinguistik itu adalah ilmu bahasa yang mempelajari dan menganalisis hubungan secara langsung tuturan bahasa dalam konteks ilmu psikologi. Udah. Terus sejarahnya. Istilah psikolinguistik ini pertama kali digunakan oleh Thomas Schwab dan Charles Osgood pada tahun 1954 pada sebuah buku yang berjudul Psycholinguistics, A Survey of Theory and Research Problem. Meskipun sebenarnya kajian ilmu ini sudah ada sejak zaman Socrates dan Panin. Di sini saya juga ada tokohnya, mem. Di sini ada 3 tokoh yang saya dapatkan. Di sini ada Van Holben, Ferdinand de Saussure, dan Edward Sapir. Terus ruang lingkupnya, di sini ruang lingkup psikolinguistik itu bagaimana orang menggunakan bahasa secara suatu sistem dan bagaimana orang belajar bahasa atau bagaimana orang dapat memperoleh bahasa menggunakannya untuk komunitas. Itu aja, Mem.
Terkait dengan komunikasi ya?
Yes, Mem.
Oke,
Komunikasi. Kedengaran nggak sih?
Iya, komunitas. Ya, komunikasi kan? Terkait
Iya,
dengan
Mem.
komunikasi dengan komunitas, begitu kan?
Oke.
Ya. Jadi apa yang bisa Suyanti pahami? Garis besarnya. Try to use your
Jadi,
own. Ya, understanding.
ya, yang saya pahami ilmu psikolinguistik ini ilmu yang mempelajari bahasa tentang psikologi.
Bahasa tentang psikologi.
Ya, tentang membahas psikologi.
Atau bahasa lainnya tentang keterkaitan antara bahasa dan psikologi. Nah, jadi orang berbahasa itu terkait juga dengan masalah psikologi. Ya, but I have explained to you on detail previously, ya, if you still remember. Yeah, it is more complete actually. Yeah, I do expect that every single of you can really understand. Okay, done. Arcela and Sally with us now. Sela and Sally, can you
Yes,
reach my
ma'am.
voice? Okay. Are you going to present? Sela, Sally?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Go on, please. Ada Sela? Halo? Halo Sela? Sally?